In this video, I'm exploring a new product called Kraftful, and I want to show you what caught my attention with this product. So let's get into it. Let's go ahead and log in, get into their dashboard, and see what their experience is like. I completed the sign up and I landed on this page which says connect a source of user feedback or create a new survey. It seems like it only works if I have a survey. I'm not sure, but I also have options to choose. So one note I would like to make here is I have this demo by founder. So I could watch this demo if I would like to. But the way I like to explore products is without any help, how far can I go with these products, right? So let's try and see it. So connect a source of your choice. Can I upload a document? What I have done as a preparation for this kind of tool exploration is I have prepared a list of all these user interviews. So I will paste them in a CSV file and then we can upload the CSV file here. So I want to show you what I have got here. This is my file where I have got all the user feedback and there are about 50 responses that I want to get analyzed. So let's go ahead and download this as a CSV format and then upload it in Kraftful. So here when I click on CSV, I get to see click box to upload a file, and then there's an example file here for download. So I've uploaded the file and then let's click on next, and it's asking me to map my columns, which I probably need to have columns. So feedback, custom, timestamp, rating, projects optional, but I think feedback column should be present is what the thing is. So let's say if I do user one as my first header and go to next. All right, so this is identifying the feedback. So it's giving me a preview of the file and I click on analyze. Now I know I have not done a lot of work on the CSV file, so I want to see how it works with my feedback that I have provided. So it says save 59 okay per analyzing 8050 words. One time offer, upgrade to pro now to get a first free month. If I do not want to unlock free month, can I see the analysis? Let's see what happens here. So it says analysis status, and this is, I'm in the dashboard right now, by the way. I can see that the analysis process is starting. It's ingesting the feedback. Now it's analyzing the feedback. It's still going on. I don't know how long it is going to take for 50 responses. I cannot imagine giving them like 100 responses. Let me try another method because this was CSV method. So let's see if there is any other way that I can get this done faster with another source. So let's add a source. So let's try uploading a document file. I'll click on this box and this is the test document. And I'll click on next. Okay. And then I'll click on analyze. So now it is trying to identify okay. So this is interesting that the starting and ingesting feedback happens almost instantly. And here I have this analyzing feedback for this time frame. Now it's trying to analyze and it's almost the same time that it is taking. You can see these two processes at the same time. I don't know which one will happen first. Both documents have the same amount of data. The data is not different at all. And I would like to see how long does this really take. Okay, let's try something. What I can think of doing is let's delete this CSV file and we'll continue with the document file and we'll see if that speeds it up. The idea here is whenever a person is trying to use a product for the first time right is very, very important, because once you onboard the user and you make them test something, it shouldn't take this long to analyze. Another thing I would comment on in terms of design is that it's kind of confusing. So here I have this document. When I had the second document, it was next to it. So it's not a list view in that sense. And maybe I will get a hang of it later, but I have an option to search here, and then I have option, both look like search bars. So this is an ask chat. So the UI elements could be slightly different. It feels redundant. Plus it also has this send weekly analysis to Slack, which are mostly actions. So you could keep that action as a separate section. I think the visual separation of different actions on this page are kind of all merged together at the top. So in that case, I feel it should have a little bit of redesign, but this is still working and I have no idea how long this is going to take. All right, I was this close to abandoning this process and it did it on time. Here's what we have. We have improved share button discoverability, enhanced share button reliability, share reliability and smoothness, improve image experience. So this is how I see as these are feature requests. Do we have complaints? Okay, share button is hard to find, sharing process is inefficient and complicated, loved features. So overall app experience, clean polished UI, and then we have all all insights in one single section here. Now, this is what I wanted to see as quickly as possible. Now, here's what has happened. It has taken all my, I will show you the source document now. I have got this 50 user interviews. Now, in this 50 user interviews, 5 user interviews which are all negative, and then there are 5 interviews which are very positive, and then there are 40 interviews which are about this share button. So it's a user problem that is reflecting in the customer reviews. So imagine you're on Google app review platform and then you see all these reviews. You copy all of those and you want to analyze who's talking about what. That's exactly what I wanted to replicate here. Typically what I would do is come and see what are the complaints. So I can see that 13 people are talking about share button is hard to find, and 13 people are saying sharing process is inefficient. Sharing is definitely then a problem in my application. This is very interesting because now I have a lot of data points to go and I want to go and check. Let's say if I click on it, I can see who's talking about it. Now that we have the analysis, let's look at what questions can be asked. There are certain presets that they have given, which is what I love. So let's say, what features are customers most frustrated about? And click on Ask AI. This is where the Ask AI from the left hand side navigation comes into picture. And what I'm asking about is what are customers most frustrated about? So now I'm expecting the sharing feature and share button to be reflected here. I have to be honest, the speed of analyzing and giving the result is terrible. Now this has worked. It's saying customers are overwhelmingly frustrated with the image sharing functionality, which is correct. Specifically, many users mention that the share button is too hidden, also correct. Sharing process is clunky and overly complex. I'm saying it's correct because I know the user feedback. I've gone through it, I generated it. So these are the points that I wanted to have in the user feedback. I feel this is very neat in the sense that I can now ask any questions. Let's add something really weird. So let's say, what are the most random feedbacks? Let's see what it actually picks up as a random feedback. And what we want to understand is, typically as a human, you sift through this feedback and you automatically ignore and you start to read the most relevant one. So when a system is doing the analysis, I want to understand what is random for them. So let's see what it is. All right, so I can see that some reviewers left playful or offbeat comments that stand out from the typical functionality. All right, one user wrote a message that began with seemingly random characters, like, yeah. So we did have feedback like that, and it has captured it quite correctly in that sense. Now, here are my impressions so far about Kraftful. When it comes to tackling the right problem, I feel Kraftful is doing a good job there. So they have identified a real pain and a real need in a UX researcher or a product team or a product manager's life. So in that sense, it's a very real, relevant problem to solve for. When it comes to solution, I feel that is a little bit all over the place. What I like is I at least got to see the result. I feel that should have been much faster. It is way too slow for my liking. The UI design itself in the dashboard is kind of clunky. It's all over the place on the dashboard itself. I feel that the certain actions were sort of mishmashed all together at the top. It was not a very coherent experience in that sense. The Ask AI feature is quite interesting. So once I have my repositories and my knowledge base is getting filled up, I can go ahead and ask this chatbot and get the results. So in that case, it's amazing tool. The best thing it has done is to identify the feedback correctly as per feature requests, complaints, brand mentioned, whatever else you would like to have as an insight. And I think it does save you some time. But if I were in the product team of Kraftful, I would pay attention to the first time user journey on how you can complete that user journey as fast as possible. And the other thing I would definitely do is take up all these minor UI design issues and try to fix them as soon as possible, because it plays a huge role when you're dealing with UX researchers, UI designers, product managers. We look for these things and we get irritated by these things. I want to test this out further. I'm always on the lookout for products that are into customer research and user research. And if you know any new products like that, you can let me know in the comments and we can check it out. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.